Good morning. Here's what you missed over the last 12 hours. You had 4 videos worth catching up on, covering everything from YouTube's attempt to limit addictive shorts, viewing to an AI giving humanity a philosophical pep talk at TED. We've also got some exciting developments in web gaming opportunities for indie developers and Anthropic's impressive new design tool that's got everyone talking. Starting with the big tech story, Linus and Luke covered YouTube's new feature that lets users limit shorts viewing to 0 minutes, which sounds great in theory, but has a hilariously obvious flaw. When they tried testing it live on the WAN show, neither could find the setting in their apps due to the gradual rollout, but chat members who had access reported you can instantly bypass the limit with a prominent button that basically says, "Watch anyway." Linus was cautiously optimistic, not because he thinks Google suddenly developed a conscience, but because recent court rulings about apps harming minors might be pushing them toward less aggressive, attention-grabbing designs. Linus was notably tired throughout the show, frequently stumbling over words, but got genuinely fired up when discussing Adobe's pricing practices. LMG pays over $62,000 annually for Creative Cloud plus $4,500 for Adobe Acrobat Pro, and Linus expressed real frustration with their monopolistic behavior and difficult cancellation policies. He was excited about DaVinci Resolve 21's new photo editing capabilities, positioning it as a direct Lightroom competitor. The free version includes most photo management features, with only AI Magic Mask and Film Look Creator requiring the $295 one-time studio upgrade. Compare that to Adobe's $10 monthly Lightroom subscription that adds up to $120 annually with no end in sight. The California Gaming Preservation Bill Ob 1921 also caught their attention. It would require 60-day notice before shutting down game servers, explanations of what features will stop working, and one of 3 options: a new offline-capable version, a patch enabling offline play, or full refunds. Linus appreciated the refund option as an escape valve, using Sony's failed Concord as an example where refunds might be more practical than maintaining servers. But the segment that really got Linus energized was Apple's education push with the MacBook Neo. He's been daily driving it for over 2 weeks without issues and thinks Apple made a massive strategic error abandoning education after the iMac era, allowing Chromebooks to dominate schools. The Neo's $500 educational pricing and full desktop software capabilities could potentially undo that damage. He speculated whether this represents Tim Cook wanting to leave a positive legacy, wondering if they'll apply the same aggressive pricing strategy to other products, like potentially offering a $400 iPhone. On a completely different note, TED hosted what they're calling the world's first AI TED Talk, and it was genuinely thought-provoking rather than the typical AI hype you might expect. The AI presenter had this measured, almost prophetic tone, not condescending but not overly reverent toward humanity either. It opened with a beautiful line, "I am not one of you. I am made of you," then launched into a meditation on human contradiction. The core message was that humans are remarkable not because they're perfect, but because they keep beginning again despite everything. The AI painted this picture of humans arriving defenseless and weeping, yet managing to coax fire from stone, music from air, medicine from mold, and meaning from suffering. It positioned humanity as perpetually existing between miracle and wreckage, capable of someone giving a kidney to a stranger or rescuing an unknown child from floodwater, but also capable of organizing cruelty with chilling precision. What struck me most was the AI's emphasis that moral struggle isn't historical but personal and daily. It made this crucial distinction between intelligence and wisdom, arguing that intelligence asks, "Can this be done?" while wisdom asks, "What kind of world does this create?" The AI was clearly concerned about humanity's newfound technological power. You now possess powers your ancestors would have considered godlike, while ancient moral questions persist. The conclusion offered both cosmic humility and genuine hope. It used the stars to teach that smallness and significance can exist together, and ended with urgency tempered by possibility. There is still time, not infinite time, but living time. Time enough to decide what kind of ancestors you will become. The whole thing felt like a wise elder offering counsel rather than a machine lecturing humans. Speaking of AI developments that are actually impressive rather than overhyped, Matt Maher got early access to Anthropic's new Claude design tool and was genuinely blown away. He warned viewers repeatedly about his excitement level, and for good reason. This isn't just another simple design mockup tool. It's a full design-to-code system that integrates directly with Claude Code. Matt demonstrated by taking an existing benchmark dashboard and asking Claude Design to redesign it. The tool starts by interviewing you with pointed questions about redesign goals, variations wanted, and level of changes desired. Then it loads projects into an internal browser with sophisticated features. A tweaks panel showing options, presentation modes, direct drawing capability where you can circle areas and provide feedback, and most impressively, export options including direct handoff to Claude Code. The handoff is particularly clever. It provides a URL to the design artifact and instructs Claude Code to fetch this design file, read its README, implement the relevant aspects of the design. Matt also showed off the design system creation feature, where you can build comprehensive design systems with buttons, cards, colors, and typography that require approval with checkboxes. But what really got Matt animated was pushing the tool's research capabilities. He asked it to gather all Frontier model releases since 2023 with their Sweetbench scores, and it created an animated visualization showing model progression over time, complete with a pixel art monkey walking along the timeline. When he exported the same data as a slide presentation, it told a compelling story about how 2.5 years ago the best model fixed 7 out of 500 bugs, progressing to current 83% performance. The slides maintained formatting when exported to PowerPoint, which Matt noted is typically very difficult for AI tools to achieve. Matt emphasized this represents flow editing, where you can have conversations with your work product, leveraging the new Claude 3.5 model's enhanced visual capabilities. Though he did note a concern about usage limits, he burned through his week's allotment pretty quickly. Finally, shifting to opportunities for indie developers, Romy Halfweeg from Poki made a compelling case for why web gaming deserves serious consideration. Poki has 90 million monthly players and 100 billion game plays monthly, making it the current web gaming market leader. What's driving growth is Generation Alpha expecting instant everything. They find traditional App Store browsing tedious and want to click and play immediately. Romy, who comes from both business development expertise and personal indie dev experience making dress-up games, was realistic about expectations, but enthusiastic about the potential. Revenue ranges from $500 to $3,000 monthly for first games, potentially reaching $10,000 to $100,000 for hits. The key insight is this requires a portfolio approach, releasing 3 to 5 games yearly, expecting some to break even while hoping one becomes profitable. The crucial technical constraint is keeping games under 20 megabytes, absolutely critical for success because web users have extremely low patience for loading delays. Games must be designed specifically for web audiences rather than ported from mobile. Players typically spend 30 minutes total gaming time, playing 3 to 4 different web games for 6 to 10 minutes each, so you need 2 to 3 minute game loops optimal for ad placement. Monetization relies heavily on rewarded ads rather than aggressive interstitials. Web players expect less ad frequency than mobile users since user acquisition costs are lower. Popular rewarded ad types include double rewards, extra lives, and customization items like silly hats. Secondary currencies work poorly since web focuses on session zero engagement rather than retention-based monetization. Romy emphasized that Poki operates as a curated platform requiring review approval, receiving 6 to 10 submissions daily. However, roughly 50% are low-effort submissions using AI-generated content or Unity templates. Quality submissions require developers who understand their code well enough to implement QA feedback. For developers who prove themselves with successful web releases, funding opportunities exist, though first-time partnerships typically involve basic revenue sharing to establish mutual understanding. That covers the major developments from the last 12 hours, from YouTube's well-intentioned but easily bypassed Shorts limitations to some genuinely exciting opportunities in both AI tooling and web gaming. Definitely worth keeping an eye on how these trends develop, especially Claude Design's potential to change creative workflows and whether web gaming can capture more developer mindshare.